and that Judge Colin Lamont failed to hear Krejcir's evidence during his sentencing hearing in February. Krejcir and 5 others are seeking leave to appeal their conviction and sentence in the South Gauteng High Court. Krejcir and Desai Luphondo were sentenced to 35 years each. The remaining 4, including Hawks officers, were given 15 years each. Krejcir arriving at court this morning hoping for leave to appeal and eventually a lighter sentence. His legal counsel admitted that under South African law, an accused can't be sentenced for attempting to deal in an unknown substance. It says the prosecution failed to prove the drugs were crystal meth and that he had knowledge thereof. The defense also argued that Lamont's judgment had several inconsistencies. It said while in some instances Lamont rejected the victim, Becky Tembelokhele's testimony, he accepted other parts of it. The hearing continues.
On kidnapping, Your Lordship, it would appear that despite the requirements of kidnapping requiring at least intentionally depriving another of his or her freedom, that Your Lordship didn't, in Your Lordship's judgment, indicate the conduct element nor the intention on behalf of the accused to commit this crime. It is therefore not clear on what basis Your Lordship could have convicted the accused of this offence.
All right, well, let's cross now to the South Gauteng High Court, where our reporter Gillian Play is standing by. Court has, of course, adjourned for lunch. Gillian, good afternoon. Now, we've heard the focus on the crystal meth argument, but what other grounds has legal counsel for Krejcir put forward in court this morning?
A very good afternoon to you, Natasha. You know, it's very surprisingly, we've moved quite swiftly through arguments or submissions, rather, in leave to appeal grounds here at the South Gauteng High Court. We're now busy with the very last accused, which is accused number 2. But yes, there's been a lot of detail or a lot of submissions that Krejcir's legal counsel has put forward, important detail that they've put forward for leave to appeal here at the South Gauteng High Court. Just to mention a few, they mentioned the whole fact that the witnesses pinpointed Krejcir as the mastermind in this matter. What Krejcir's legal counsel is saying, the judge, there was no point beyond reasonable doubt that he was indeed the mastermind. So the court basically relied on probabilities based on that fact. Other important submissions that they made, they spoke about during the sentencing hearing here in February earlier this year, in which Krejcir wasn't, granted a request to consult with legal representation, that had a bearing on his constitutional right. Other grounds that they also presented was the fact that Krejcir, has tried timelessly to ask the judge to get his shackles removed during that sentencing hearing, and that request was also denied, which could have had a bearing on him having a higher or more heftier sentence, as we saw early in February, Natasha. But these are some of the grounds that the defense is driving forward. Other accused also alluding to the fact that the drugs that it's being spoken about here, the crystal meth, that there was no evidence brought to court that this is the drugs or this is the substance that they dealt in. So on that ground, in the South African law, there is no conviction or sentence for dealing in an unknown substance, Natasha.
And Gillian, Judge Colin Lamont standing firm, even hearing from Advocate Annalene van den Heerfer there, after hearing from her, he said he was standing by his decisions.
Yes, there was a lot of back and forth between the two of them. We've seen since the start of the trial in 2013 that there's been a lot of back and forth from both the judge as well as Annalene van den Heerfer, her driving the point through for accused number 2, saying that there are various inconsistencies with witnesses pointing out all the accused from the dock, which they say has a lot of danger in terms of there not being an identity parade in which they could pinpoint, the accused before the trial starts. Natasha.
All right, Gillian, thank you for that update. Our reporter Gillian Pillay live from the South Gauteng High Court.